In Ruth Cherry's book, Living in the Flow, she shares her personal story of dealing with health challenges, including a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, through a series of journal entries. Her book is also a guide where she reveals how a strong meditation practice helped in her healing transformation. Ruth believes that meditation invites a powerful healing intervention from Source to be our partner in the process. A practicing psychotherapist for 40 years, Ruth explains how she came to the understanding that healing is unlimited when we maintain a vibrational state of acceptance.
Ruth, in this book, Living in the Flow, you share your story in a very personal and raw way through your journal entries. Why did you want to publicly share your story with the world?
I didn't want to publicly share my story. When I was writing my journal entries, it was after I had gotten the diagnosis. Two friends independently suggested I journal because I was so shaken by this diagnosis. So I did my journaling for me to survive this time. I never thought it would be in a book. The idea for the book came after I was finished with my journal writing in a meditation. And so when I get guidance in a meditation, I just say yes. I don't say, oh, I'll be embarrassed. Oh, I don't want to be that vulnerable. I have a commitment to work with life. And if I get directed to publish my book, that's what I'm going to do. How does that sound?
That sounds good. So we won't say that you wanted to. We'll say you were directed to.
I didn't decide to write a book revealing all my quirks and all my craziness. I was writing in my journals to survive. And journal writing is a wonderful spiritual tool and spiritual mechanism to allow the unconscious to come forth and to show us, to guide us. And so I use journal writing to help me anchor myself in the present moment. When my mind can get so nuts, and I have thoughts, well, what could happen? Well, what about my fears? Well, what about that? Well, journal writing keeps me present in the second. So I use that for me as my own help, just to get through the day.
Now, Ruth, the disease that you're talking about is multiple sclerosis, and you said that shortly after being diagnosed with MS in your mid-60s, you shifted your orientation to health and healing and away from decline. How were you able to make that shift?
Well, the first few months after I got the diagnosis, there are all these doctor's appointments, and there are physical therapists, and there are home health care nurses, and there are injections, and there's medication, and there's this, and there's that, and there's this, and there's that. And I was getting caught up in that. And then I stopped and I said to myself, this is not how I want to live. I meditate. So I started meditating more. I meditated 45 minutes twice a day. I found such comfort and such guidance and such reassurance in my meditations. I knew there were resources that I could tap into that I couldn't get to by using my intellect. The doctors are wonderful. I appreciate them. I use them. I value them. But I have resources deeper inside when I need to heal. We have to practice vibrational alignment. We have a human center. We have an internal center. That my mind, my controller in my human center, was making me nuts. So I had to move into my eternal center, where there is always peace for all of us. The deepest place in us, the core of who we are, is peace. And we move into that place when we meditate. I had to do that to live with this diagnosis and to see my way through it. That was what I did to move into a present, hopeful, healing orientation when I was getting so crazy with the diagnosis.
When we tap into that vibrational alignment that you're talking about, is that what it means to live in the flow?
It is, because we all have access to that deeper place in us. We have our human center, we have our eternal center. That's the alignment. That's the vibrational alignment we want to practice. Because the vibration in our human center, in our controller, is a little crazy, a little frantic, a little outer-directed. We want to practice that alignment with that vibration at our deepest core, the peace that lives in us, that we didn't manufacture, the peace that lives in us at our deepest core. We're aligning with a reality that includes all of us and that's larger than all of us, but also a reality that knows what healing is for me in my own particular personal terms. And that wisdom is what I need when I want to heal myself and the doctors give me no hope. I need some guidance from a reality that isn't visible that I can tap into that I can trust. And of course, it takes time to trust that reality, but I've meditated for a long time. And when we sit in meditation and when we practice stillness, we become aware of the vibrations in us. We look at our thoughts. We don't think our thoughts. We look at our feelings. But we practice detachment. And gently and quietly and slowly, we learn to trust the wisdom that comes from doing that. Stand up after meditation, and we know something that we didn't know before we started to meditate. And maybe we don't know how we know it or why we know it, but you know it so clearly and so surely that you trust it. And I've done this for years. So now I really got to use all that experience meditating. Now it's really served me. So when I had thought that getting a diagnosis of MS was the worst thing that ever happened, I realized it's the best thing that's ever happened because it opened me up to a reality greater than I am, which allows me to participate in a project that I of myself can do nothing about. I don't get any credit for healing MS, but when I allow healing to work through me, that's thrilling. And I just watch, and it's a joy. It's a joy. So now I am so grateful for this diagnosis. It's opened up the world to me in a way my mind never could have.
Well, you're such an incredible woman, Ruth. I want to talk a little bit about your website because you have so much great content on there that I think our listeners will really enjoy.
Great. It's Meditation Intro. We have articles on there. We have guided meditations on there. I do a guided meditation group every day in San Luis Obispo, free, open to the public. If anyone's in town, they're welcome to come. But if they're not in town, they can listen. I have 5 guided meditations on my website, Meditation Intro. You can listen to them. When we meditate, we remember ourselves. We're not trying to get away from ourselves. We're not trying to be different from ourselves. When we meditate, we remember ourselves. So I find that a wonderful spiritual practice. I meditate twice every day. I lead a guided meditation group every day. I have recorded meditations on my website. I strongly encourage that for everyone.
Well, Ruth, you are certainly a force to be reckoned with, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.